Good morning. I hereby call this meeting to order and ask everyone to please take your seats. Thank you for following through so quickly. If I appear to be distracted this morning a little bit, it's this glow of neon next to me. It actually casts a light on my notes, and so if I stumble around, we have Commissioner Dyson here to blame. But no, welcome. I'd like to welcome our special guests. We have, of course, Bobby Stem with us from the OGC. Former Secretary of Transportation Mike Patterson, who I just saw a second ago. There we are, Mike. Welcome. And Representative Nicole Miller, a supporter of ours. Thank you for being here. So with that, I will ask the Secretary to please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn?
Coburn here.
Mr. Grimsley?
Grimsley here.
Mr. Shannon? Mr. Freimiller?
Freimiller here.
Mr. Dyson?
Dyson here.
Mr. Alexander?
Alexander here.
Mr. LaForge? Mr. Junk?
Junk here.
Mr. Peterson?
Here. Secretary Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Stand in front of you today on one of those bittersweet days with a retirement to advise the Commission of. And Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd invite Sean Davis up to make a presentation.
Please, thank you.
Sean.
Mr. Chairman, if you would, I'd like to call Randall White to come forward.
Please. I believe this is the first time I've seen him with a tie. Doesn't he look nice?
Could be. So, Mr. Chairman, today we're going to recognize Randall White. Randall White has had a long and distinguished career with the department, going on 4 decades now. For the past almost 2 decades, he has been the face of District 8 up in the Tulsa area. Randall started his career over here at the Edmond Residency a long time ago, and moved his way up to being the assistant resident manager there at Edmond, moved up to Enid as the resident engineer at Enid, then spent a while down in District 7 as the construction engineer down at Duncan for District 7, and about 16 years ago, he made the move up to Tulsa as the district engineer. Randall, like I said, has a long and distinguished career. We hate losing him, but we understand, you know, after that many years, you don't owe us anything anymore. So wish him nothing but the best. But we're going to present him with a brick today, so I'm going to read off what this brick's going to say. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation recognizes District 8 Engineer Randall White for 40-plus years of service to the department. He is a thoughtful leader dedicated to those he works with and to the safety of the traveling public. Notable accomplishments include completion of Tulsa's I-44 corridor, I-44 US 75 interchange, I-244 IDL reconstruction, and addressing structurally deficient highway bridges in northeast Oklahoma. The department is proud to present him with this commemorative brick from historic Route 66 in honor of his retirement. So, Randall, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just add that Randall's been more than kind in working with me in my oddball questions since I joined the commission, and it's been wonderful working with him. So I'll miss him as a friend and a trusted resource to the district. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I've had the great pleasure and honor of working with Randall for many, many years. And what I would offer is his insight into programs and projects across the state of Oklahoma during his career has made the department better. It has enabled us to provide better infrastructure for the citizens of the state of Oklahoma. But the thing I recognize about Randall more than anything else is his thoughtful approach to to making sure that he was directing resources to the right locations. And again, we are so appreciative of his service to the state of Oklahoma and to the citizens. And me personally, Randall's a great friend, a great individual, a fantastic engineer. We're going to miss him, but we wish him well in his retirement. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Thank you. Item 163 is approval of the minutes of the Transportation Commission meeting on October 2nd, 2023. Do I have a motion for approval of item 163?
So moved, Grimsley. Second, Frymiller.
And a second, Commissioner Freimiller. Any discussion? All right, thank you. Please cast your vote. Voting is complete. The measure is passed. Thank you very much. The consent docket contains items 164 and 165. If any commissioner would like to pull an item out for discussion, he may do so at this time. Otherwise, I'll hear a motion for approval of the consent docket.
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you, Commissioner Dyson. Do I have a second?
Second, Alexander.
Alexander, thank you. Please cast your vote. The measure passes. Thank you very much. 166 is engineering contracts. Mr. Tegler, you are recognized to present. And you have a bunch.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Secretary. I do have a bunch, as you mentioned. Go ahead and, all right. I have 24 parts this month. 4 of those are statewide and 20 of those are project-specific. I also want to, you're exactly right. We do have a significant number of these design packages today. 15 of those 20 are in the contract identification number of 2452. These are going to provide for design of 26 rural 2-lane projects. Contracts are also going to be task order not to exceed amount. This will help us and allow the department to increase our shelf program that we talk about probably every month. This is also going to give the department a good position to be competitive in the federal grant arena. And it's also going to position us well to potentially receive some congressionally directed spending. So the task order basis also allows us to strategically advance the pre-construction activities of these projects and better time our financial investment. So I think that gets said several times here, and we look forward to doing these contracts. So without further ado, I will proceed with these 24 contracts. I also want to say that the listed projects that are included here in the engineering contracts are in our current 8-year construction work plan. Part A, this is our statewide on-demand engineering services. The department has selected 6 firms to provide these services. They are CP&Y, also doing business as STV Infrastructure, EST, Garver, HNTB Corporation, H.W. Lochner, and Team Design. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 6 contracts is $15 million. Part B, all districts statewide. This is our on-demand airborne LiDAR mapping. The department has selected 4 firms to provide these services, and they are Aerial Data Service, CEC Corporation, NV5 Geospatial, and Technical Applications and Consulting. The aggregate amount not to exceed is $3 million for these 4 contracts. Part C, all districts statewide are on-demand geotechnical services contracts. The department has selected 8 firms to provide these services, and they are Arrowhead Engineering, Building and Earth Sciences, EST, GeoCal, Kleinfelder, Olson, Standard Testing and Engineering, and Terracon Consultants. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 8 contracts is $2 million. Part D, all districts statewide are on-demand wetland and stream mitigation. The department has selected 5 firms to provide these services. They are Blackbird Environmental, Friesen Nichols, HDR Engineering, Olson, and Switchgrass Consulting. The 5 contracts, not to exceed amount, is $1 million. Part E, District 1, Muskogee County. The department has selected C.H. Guernsey and Company to prepare construction plans for State Highway 10A. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road not to exceed amount is $632,860. Part F, Districts 1 and 3, Muskogee and Seminole Counties. The department has selected Cowan Group Engineering to prepare construction plans for US 64 and State Highway 56. The proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part G in Districts 2 and 4, Latimer and Noble Counties. The department has selected CP&Y, also doing business at STV Infrastructure, to prepare construction plans for US 270 and US 64. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility, add shoulders to a two-lane road, and geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount for this contract is $3 million. Part H in Districts 3 and 7, Johnston and Caddo Counties. Department has selected Team Design to prepare construction plans for the State Highway 22, 78, 48A, and also State Highway 58. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part I in District 3, McLean County, the department has selected Benham Design to prepare construction plans for State Highway 39. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part J in District 3, McLean County, department has selected Consor Engineers to prepare construction plans for State Highway 59. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $1,500,000. Part K, Districts 3 and 8, Pottawatomie and Osage Counties. The department has selected Burgess and Nyepel to prepare construction plans for State Highway 270 and State Highway 18. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part L, District 4, Canadian County. The department has selected Team Design to prepare construction plans for US 270. The project improvements that are proposed are adding shoulders to a two-lane road, adding sidewalks, geometric improvements, intersection modification, and replacing a bridge on an existing alignment. The total not to exceed amount is $2,184,835. Part M in District 4 in Logan County. Department has selected Half Associates to prepare construction plans for State Highway 105. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road and geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $1,500,000. Part N, District 5, Greer County. Department has selected Aguirre and Fields to prepare construction plans for US 283. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $1,500,000. Part O in District 5 as well in Greer County. Department has selected Freeze and Nichols to prepare construction plans for US 283 and State Highway 9. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part P, District 5, Jackson County. The department has selected CEC Corporation to prepare construction plans for State Highway 6. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part Q, Districts 6 and 8, Major and Pawnee Counties. The department selected Guy Engineering Services to prepare construction plans for State Highway 8 and US 64. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate existing facility and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part R, District 7, Grady County. Department has selected MacArthur Associated Consultants to provide preliminary engineering and construction plans for a city bridge in Rush Springs. Proposed project improvements are replace bridge on an existing alignment. Total not to exceed amount is $256,606. Also want to say that this project was included in the Bridge Formula Program that was approved in April 3rd, 2023 Commission meeting. Part S, in District 8 in Craig County. The department has selected the Schemmer Associates to prepare construction plans for State Highway 2. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $1,500,000. Part T, District 8, Creek and Osage Counties. Department selected professional engineering consultants to prepare construction plans for State Highway 16 and State Highway 99. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, add shoulders to a two-lane road, and some geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part U in District 8, Creek and Pawnee counties. The department has selected MacArthur Associated Consultants to prepare construction plans for State Highway 99. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part V, District 8, Osage County. The department has selected Garver to prepare construction plans for State Highway 99 and State Highway 11. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, and add shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part W, District 8 in Rogers County. The department has selected Guy Engineering Services to provide preliminary engineering and prepare construction plans for the city bridge in Chelsea. Proposed project improvements are replace bridge on existing alignment. Not to exceed amount is $272,759. This also is a project that was included in the Bridge Formula Program approved in April 3rd of 2023 commission meeting. And finally, Part X, District 8, Tulsa County. The department has selected Poe and Associates to prepare construction plans for US 169. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility. Total not to exceed amount is $2,369,900. Approval is recommended. Try to answer any questions if you have any.
This is a mouthful. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 166?
So moved, Grimsley.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Brian Miller, second.
Brian Miller, thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one kind of technical question. I feel like we need to let you catch your breath. On LiDAR,
Yes.
do you see this replacing a significant amount of like photogrammetry and that type of stuff, or is it just going to augment? I would think the LiDAR you can do day or night, right? I mean, you can do that anytime. So it's a little bit
Correct.
more-
I think the photogrammetry is slowly kind of going by the wayside. We
Okay.
still have that capability, but yes, I
And
believe
is
it is.
LiDAR giving you the resolution, or is it still
It
evolving?
is.
Okay,
It
all right.
really is. To a point where it gathers so much information, sometimes it really taxes some of the software.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Very good. Please cast your vote. Thank you, and the measure passes. Item 167 is engineering supplements. Mr. Tegler, you recognize to pause and continue when you want to.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Item 167 of the engineering contract supplements, I have only 6 parts this month. These are all project-specific. Part A is our District 2 in Atoka County. Department previously authorized BKL to perform preliminary engineering and construction plans for State Highway 7. The proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road and some geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $87,730. Part B in District 3, Cleveland County. Department previously authorized Garver to prepare construction plans for US 77. The proposed project improvements are adding capacity to the roadway and geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $200,400. Part C in District 3 in Garvin County. The department previously authorized MacArthur Associated Consultants to prepare construction plans for I-35. The proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility. The amount not to exceed is $100,100. Part D in District 4 in Logan County. Department previously authorized MacArthur Associated Consultants to prepare construction plans for I-35. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate existing facility, add capacity to the roadway, geometric improvements, intersection modification, and replace bridge on an existing alignment. Total not to exceed amount is $992,900. Part E in District 7, Caddo County. The department previously authorized Meshach and Associates to prepare construction plans for State Highway 58. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $47,163. And finally, Part F in District 8, Tulsa County. Department previously authorized Poe and Associates to perform preliminary engineering and construction plans for US 75. Proposed project improvements are adding capacity to the roadway, improve access, and intersection modification. Total not to exceed amount is $348,100. Approval is recommended. Try to answer any questions.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 167?
So moved, Grimsley.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Alexander.
Alexander, thank you. Any discussion? All right, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Tegler.
you.
Thank you. Item 168 is change orders with a cumulative total of $75,000 or less. This is for information only. Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'd like to present item number 168, parts A through double E. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders of $75,000 or less. These are presented for your information only, and no action is necessary, but I'd certainly be glad to answer any questions.
If there are no questions, Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to present item 169, which is change orders with a cumulative total greater than $75,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, item 169, parts A through double O are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $75,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to try and answer any questions.
Okay, you've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 169?
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Grimsley, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 170 is an emergency declaration from the Operations Division, and is for information only. Mr. Davis, you're recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is a information-only item. No action is required on your part. This is going to be an emergency declaration for NBI 15796. This is the bridge on State Highway 36 over I-44 at mile marker 1 in District 7 in Cotton County. On October 15, 2023, the bridge structure was struck by an overhyped vehicle traveling underneath, causing significant damage to 4 of the 5 beams throughout span 3. The overheight load also caused damage to the interior diaphragms and other structural elements. The bridge was left with reduced load capacity to carry 2 lanes of State Highway 36 traffic above and was reduced to 1 lane. For safety reasons, it was imperative that 2 lanes of traffic be restored as soon as possible. This will require that the damaged portions of the structure be flame straightened and other portions be repaired with new materials before traffic was restored. District 7 forces did not have the capacity to perform this work. It was recommended that an emergency project be started immediately to have the repair work performed so that traffic could be restored. In accordance with Title 61 of the Oklahoma Statutes, Section 130, and the Oklahoma Administrative Code, Section 730, Secretary Gatz recommended that the department issue an emergency contract for repair of the bridge. The estimated cost at the time was $350,000. I can report today that the actual cost on that was about $385,000. Our contractor, Flame On Contractors, got out there in rather short order, and the repairs were completed on Friday, October 27th, just 12 days after the incident.
12 days.
And happy
Amazing.
to answer any questions.
Yeah, that's great. If there are no questions, we'll move on to item 171, presented by the Local Government Division. Mr. Mitchell, you're recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Item 171 for your approval is the adding 15 bridges to participate in the structurally deficient bridge program. Recognizing the importance of decreasing the number of structurally deficient bridges, the department has selected 15 SD bridges located within the incorporated city limits of Blanchard, Coweta, Grove, Henrietta, Idabel, Inola, Medicine Park, Seminole, Skytook, Winoka, and Woodward for participation in the SD City Bridge Program, initially presented to you in July of 2022. The department will work in conjunction with the cities to replace these bridges to remove the deficiency. The selection process evaluates each structure, helping to establish prioritization. Consideration is given to annual average daily traffic, school bus routes, load postings, local matching ability, and the age of the structure. 5 of the bridges are believed to be over 100 years old, including the 147-foot historic truss bridge in Medicine Park, NBI number 68. Your approval is recommended.
And I think the significance of this is that they are off-system.
Correct.
Correct? And
Yes, sir.
so, very good. All right, well, thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 171?
So moved, Grimsley.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second, Frymiller.
Brian Miller, thank you. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 172 is proposed bid openings. Mr. Hackney, you're recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning.
Commissioners. Item 172, proposed bid openings, consists of the tentative January 2024 and the tentative February 2024 bid openings. The department recommends approval.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 172?
Motion Dyson.
And a second?
Second Alexander.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, please cast your vote. And the motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Hackney. Item 173 is awards. Mr. Dels, you are recognized to present. Would you turn around for everyone to make sure they see that? You know. Go
It's a good day to be
Pokes.
a Cowboy. Good morning, Commissioners. Item 173 are our recommendations from the October bid openings. It's in two parts. Part A are the October 12th bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the October 12th bid opening, referred to by call order, be awarded. It's call order 605, 612, 615, 620, 625, 630, 635, 640, 650, 652, 655, 660, and 665. It is recommended that the following items from the October 12th bid opening, referred to by call order, be rejected. That's call order 645 and 675. Part B, it is recommended that the following items from the October 19th bid opening, referred to by call order, be awarded. It's call order 700, 705, 710, 715, 720, 725, 730, 735, 745, 752, 753, 755, 760, and 765. It is recommended that the following item from the October 19th bid opening, referred to by call order, be rejected, and that's call order 750. This includes the recommendations for awards. Approval is requested.
Thank you, Mr. Dels. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 173?
Motion Dyson.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Frydenor.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right. Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Dels. Item 174 is the Director's Report. Secretary Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This morning, I wanted to provide a little bit of an update on the federal appropriations bill. And as you know, we are currently operating under a continuing resolution through November the 17th. A little bit of activity last week. The Senate did pass a version that included transportation appropriations, and that piece of legislation can now advance. The House of Representatives is working on a transportation appropriations bill also, and had it queued up last week to come to a potential vote. My understanding is that vote's been delayed to this week to do a little bit of additional work around passenger rail funding, if I understood correctly. So those two pieces of legislation eventually would have to be reconciled and come together in conference. Whether or not that can be accomplished between now and November 17th is certainly a question that I worry over. But a continuing resolution as we get into new federal fiscal years is not unusual. The average, I think, passage of a full appropriations bill is about February. So again, as long as we are operating under a continuing resolution that would extend us beyond November 17th, that'll at least keep us going. The challenges that we will have if we get to November 17th without at least a continuing resolution are the same things we've talked about. It primarily impacts fiscal 24 federal funding, and that obviously puts us on in a little bit of a precarious position as far as future lettings are concerned. The department doesn't conduct a December letting customarily, so the first time that that would be a measurable impact would be in November's prospect, which is already out there, but working primarily into calendar year 2024 is where we would see that materialize. So we're going to be very cautious about how we move forward and continue to be diligent about making decisions to invest the federal funds that we have available until we get past this into a full appropriations. We're confident that'll happen. We know the Congress is working really hard to get appropriations bills passed, but wanted to provide a little bit of an update this morning for you. Very much appreciate your consideration and approval of the engineering contracts. Huge focus on rural two-lane highways, which is where our focus needs to be. The construction work plan that you approved includes more than 30% of the total investment goes towards rural two-lane highway infrastructure. We've still got 5,300 miles out there that doesn't have safety shoulders. That's a big safety concern for us. As we have been able to accelerate some of those projects through our RAMP TIFIA loan program, and which we will continue, we need to make sure that we are doing the engineering and preparations in order to continue to have the opportunity to advance additional projects. And that's what those contracts are about. It's trying to position us with a shelf program where we've got projects that are essentially waiting on revenues to be able to be moved forward. So we appreciate everybody's work on that. We're going to continue to prioritize our two-lane infrastructure, and because we need to. That's where our highest severity rate, severe injury accidents occur, and where our highest fatality rate occurs. And the field district engineers do an exceptional job of bringing forward improvements on those types of facilities, and we need to make sure that we're doing the engineering and preparation in order to get those out the door as quickly as we can. Also appreciate your consideration of another facet of our structurally deficient bridge program, and again, that's working with local governments. These municipal bridges that you approved this morning, 15 structurally deficient, are part of our commitment to local government and our commitment to work with not only municipal government but county government to address some of the structurally deficient bridge problems that exist, Mr. Chairman, as you point out, off the highway system. So again, I appreciate the work that Matt and the local government group has done getting these ready, and appreciate your consideration this morning. Over the long term, we hope that we can address up to about 800 bridges that are not on the highway system. Some of those being county bridges, the majority of those being county bridges where we experience scour problems, and we're putting together a program to bring for your consideration at a future date around those county bridge structures. Again, Matt and the guys have done a great job of identifying those bridges and then maintaining strong lines of communication with our local government partners to make sure they have a clear understanding of what we can and what we can accomplish, and how we're intending to advance those projects. We've committed up to $28 million a year to improve those off-system bridges. We've got a little bit of a video now from an event that we conducted 2 weeks ago last Friday, and that was a Gary Ridley Memorial interchange dedication. The event was conducted in Perry at our headquarters building. The legislature passed a bill and in order to name the I-35 and State Highway 51 interchange in Payne County as the Honorable Secretary Gary M. Ridley Memorial Interchange. And what I would tell you is there's not a more appropriate location in the state of Oklahoma to bear Secretary Gary Ridley's name. He had his start was in Perry, Oklahoma, in ODOT District 4, and certainly had a long history of doing the right things for highways across Oklahoma. But this particular interchange, he had a clear perspective on what it took to manage the peak period traffic volumes that we experience during game day. And so again, Gary's wife, Eula, and his family, along with several legislators, including Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, our own Representative Nicole Miller, Senator Jack Stewart, and former Secretary Mike Patterson, as well as many colleagues and friends, were in attendance. And as you know, Secretary Ridley was passionate about ODOT, passionate about District 4 and the state of transportation in Oklahoma. Have another video from Durant, US 6975. We did a ribbon cutting down there. Commissioner Grimsley, I really appreciate your attendance. What a tremendous day. The area in the past had numerous access points onto Highway 69, including 3 signalized intersections, which created traffic congestion and serious safety concerns. Some of the worst accident histories that certainly in District 2, for that matter in the state of Oklahoma, were at this location. With the help of one of the largest federal grants in the department's history, we were able to improve accessibility on and off the highway, protect those key interchange points, and create one-way frontage roads and a much-needed crossover, the railroad and the highway, all to help with that traffic congestion and improve the safety of the traveling public from Calera, south of Durant, all the way through Durant proper. The citizens benefit from that control of access in those 6 crossing points without interacting the high-speed traffic, just because of the safety aspects. Again, when you have stop conditions on a highway like US 69 that carries interstate type traffic, you have bad results. And again, we had a lot of rear end accidents, many accidents that were a result of traffic meeting in that intersection, in at-grade crossing areas, and we're extremely excited to have be able to stand up there on the bridge above that highway and cut a ribbon. Some significant aspects of this is that project was accomplished through and during COVID-19, the pandemic. We all understand what impact that had on everything from workforce to supply chain. And again, contractor persevered. We want to thank Do It Construction and all their subcontractors and suppliers. Certainly the participation of the local governments, City of Durant and Calera, along with the Choctaw Nation. And we really appreciate the support of Senator Bullard, Representative Maynard, along with those at the federal level, including Senator Inhofe, who was instrumental in making sure that we got a focus on grant funding, along with Congressman Mullen at the time. We appreciate his support. Now Senator Mullen have been extremely helpful at the federal level with making sure that Oklahoma could accomplish that major improvement down at Durant and Calera. So again, that was an exciting day, and certainly had a little bit of Chamber of Commerce weather for the event. So, but again, it was, and to have a true appreciation for what's there now, you have to really have a clear understanding for what was there before. And it's a dramatic improvement. Lives will be saved because of those investments and those improvements. Appreciate your consideration this morning of a local government project. And again, I wanted to call a little bit of attention to this morning in Midwest City, Midwest Boulevard. This is an ACOG project, Association of Central Oklahoma Governments. That's the MPO that represents the Oklahoma City metropolitan area. This is just another example of the way that the department partners with our local partners to make improvements. It's a $5.5 million mill and overlay project that will cover 3 miles, improve drainage, and build 2 miles of ADA compliant sidewalks. That provides better access to community resources like Midwest City Elementary School, the Midwest City City Hall, and certainly some of the city's extensive trail network. In partnership with the City of Midwest City and ACOG, again, through a long-range plan called their Transportation Improvement Program, this project came to fruition, and it'll be a big deal for the community. But again, while we were talking about some of the work that the department does off-system, I thought it was an opportunity to call attention to the fact that we do these types of projects, certainly in our major metropolitan areas, but all across the state of Oklahoma. Also appreciate your consideration this morning of our I-35 wrong-way countermeasures. As you know, this project is part of a larger initiative that will install wrong-way countermeasures along the Interstate I-40 and I-35 across the state of Oklahoma. This one's $4.6 million and will work on I-35 south of the Oklahoma City metropolitan area to the Texas state line. The improvements include flashing signs, sign upgrades, and pavement markings. So again, this is part of our efforts to make sure that we're giving drivers every indication possible that they could be entering the interstate system heading the wrong way. And it's a fourth leg of this program. We've completed eastern I-40. West I-40 is to be completed early this coming year, and northern I-35 was completed this summer. We'll have 68 wrong-way systems across our interstate network when this is completed, and again, we're pretty excited about the safety aspects of it. Those wrong-way collisions, when a driver makes a mistake and causes a crash, are some of the worst that we have. So again, it's a worthwhile investment. We've got metrics in place to track and monitor the success of this program over the long term. So again, we're going to continue to see how this develops. We believe the safety investments are going to make a difference for the traveling public. And lastly, I'd talk a little bit about safety campaign. On an 82-degree day, I'm going to talk a little bit about winter weather and some of the things that the Department of Transportation is doing to be prepared. But also, as always, we ask for our drivers and the traveling public to keep in mind that they play a vital role in staying safe during inclement weather. Each storm's different. The department's plans differ from time to time, and we're responsible for maintaining more than 30,000 lane miles of highway across the state. The public needs to know that we've got about 1,500 employees that are our boots on the ground out there in the field districts, and more than 500 pieces of equipment that are available to manage winter weather events. And when we do have inclement weather, we go into 24/7 operations until the highways are clear. And the precipitation may stop, but our operations don't. We continue again until the roads are clear, and that can take us days with refreeze, after an event stops, to really get the highways back in the condition that we want. Motorists should always be cautious. Oklahoma, a lot of times we are dealing with ice rather than snow events, which can cause black ice, and certainly everybody needs to understand that the posted speed limit, whatever that black and white sign says, is for a clear, bright day, not for inclement weather conditions. So one of the most important things that everybody can do is just slow down a little bit. Give us time to do our work, and know that the department's resources are going to give everything we've got to protect the traveling public and the citizens of the state of Oklahoma during inclement weather. Travel is, if you have to travel during a severe storm, know before you go, and you can do that in a variety of ways, but you can check www.okroads.org. You can check with Twitter at OKDOT, or call our line at 1-844-4OK-HIGHWAYS, HWYS. And please take advantage of our Drive Oklahoma mobile app, and that's available for both the iPhone and the Android, and that is always updated with the latest road conditions. So again, here we sit on a day in November that we're going to enjoy some really nice weather, but I can tell you a short 3 weeks ago, we had crews out that were dealing with icing conditions in western Oklahoma. So inclement weather's coming. We just need to be prepared for it. Again, our equipment and our personnel are ready. Our salt sheds are full, and we're ready to go for wintertime. Hopefully we have a mild winter, but the Department of Transportation hopes for the best and expects the worst. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I would stand for any questions that the commission may have of me, and
Thank you. Thank you. Do commissioners have any questions or comments for the
I just have
secretary?
a comment, if I may. Yeah, I just want to speak up on the Calera project. I had a front row seat the entire time of the project, and I'm absolutely amazed. It was really a case of doing open heart surgery on a patient while they're on a treadmill. That's what it was like. The highway was not shut down, very limited footprint that they worked in, and it was incredible. It was, Anthony Kelly and the team were very responsive to all the local businesses. Everybody locally tried to minimize disruptions, but it just was incredible to watch how that played out. So it's a job very, very well done.
Good.
Thank you, Commissioner. And, you know, certainly the commission is familiar with Highway 69, but all the way to Big Cabin, where the Highway 69 meets the Will Rogers Turnpike, which is the highest truck turning movement anywhere on the Turnpike network. But Highway 69 carries interstate type traffic. And again, it's something we've got to continue to find ways to invest in. This is a 4-mile piece of it, but we need to continue our work to get to meet up with Texas and the improvements they're making. Again, along our southern border, where we're seeing traffic volumes grow at rates that we have to focus resources on keeping up with. So again, Anthony Kelly in District 2 and certainly Commissioner Grimsley, we're going to put a focus on continuing those efforts and again, try to keep up with it as best we can. But Commissioner, I appreciate that recognition.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Grimsley. Thank you, Secretary Gatz.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, real quick, I just want to tell you how much I'm looking forward to that ball out on the lawn here being the correct color for the foreseeable future.
Mr. Chairman, if I might.
Yeah, please.
Rumor has it that there is an orange ball, and if you're not familiar with our Bedlam post that's out here on the northeast corner of the building, if I recall correctly, I might have had a hand in it. That post was installed in 2011 after a pretty significant Oklahoma State win. Unfortunately, it's a 4-9 record since then, but this is a pretty special year. And we will have an opportunity for a photo op out there immediately following the commission meeting.
Outstanding. Can I wear my jacket?
Absolutely. I would highly encourage the wearing of that jacket.
Well, this is for safety, actually, but
Yeah, so it wouldn't bother me if you'd wear that to every commission meeting, Commissioner. But yes, that certainly, what a fantastic day it was Saturday, and a tremendous game, one for the ages, as it should have been.
Yep.
And again, it'll be nice to have an orange ball on that post for the foreseeable future.
If we can only ask Commissioner Dyson to stay away from the roadways, because it will create a slowdown and a diversion, I'm afraid. So.
That's right. Very good, thank you.
I've got to say one thing real quick. I can imagine after your speech here, the smile on Secretary Ridley's face right now, knowing that ball's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, the Bedlam post was certainly something that he was a big part of making happen. And we've had a lot of fun with it over the years and look forward to having fun with it in the future. I'm sure we will have that opportunity.
Good. Thank you. Commissioners have no other comments. I hear a motion for item 175, which is adjournment.
motion Dyson.
Thank you, and do I have a second?
Second, Frymiller.
Thank you. Please cast your vote. Motion passes. We are adjourned.